In Nigeria, two unfolding stories underscore the country's ongoing struggle to balance tradition with modernity, faith with governance, and personal power with public accountability. The first, set in Bauchi State, revolves around a controversial decision to close schools for 5 weeks to observe Ramadan. The second, unfolding in the National Assembly, involves a high-profile clash between Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan and Senate President Godswill Akpabio together. These narratives reveal the complexities of governance in a nation where religion, politics, and gender dynamics intersect in profound ways. In Bauchi State, Governor Bala Mohammed's administration has stirred controversy by announcing a 5-week closure of all schools, public and private, from March 1 to April 5, 2025. This sweeping directive, affecting nursery, primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions, aligns with Ramadan, the Islamic holy month of fasting. According to Jalaluddin Maina, an information officer from the Bauchi State Ministry of Education, the closure was planned well in advance to allow students and staff to focus on their religious obligations without the demands of academic life. Fasting from dawn to dusk, Maina noted, can be physically taxing, and the government aimed to ease this burden for the faithful. While some in Bauchi's predominantly Muslim population have welcomed the decision as a respectful acknowledgement of religious priorities, it has faced sharp criticism from other quarters. Christian communities and private school owners have decried the closure as excessive and discriminatory, arguing that it disrupts education for students who do not observe Ramadan. With Bauchi already grappling with a 54% rate of out-of-school children, among the highest in Nigeria, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, critics fear that a 5-week break could further erode academic progress. Sunita Joseph, a concerned parent, expressed worry that such a prolonged hiatus might cause students to lose ground on their studies, while private school owners have appealed to the Christian Association of Nigeria for support, warning of strained interfaith relations. The policy's defenders, such as Musa Hardo, the Bauchi State chairman for private school owners, argue that the academic calendar was set after consultations with stakeholders, including religious leaders, and point out that similar breaks are granted for Christian holidays like Christmas. Yet opponents highlight inconsistencies. Tertiary institutions and civil servants are not required to halt their activities during Ramadan, raising questions about why schools alone face such an extended closure. The Bauchi government has stood firm, threatening sanctions against private schools that defy the order. This approach is not unique to Bauchi. Other northern states like Katsina, Kebbi, and Kano have announced similar Ramadan closures for 2025, with Katsina even warning of enforcement by the Hizbah board. Unlike Saudi Arabia, where school hours are adjusted during Ramadan rather than suspended entirely, Bauchi's decision reflects a regional preference for prioritizing religious observance over educational continuity. The debate underscores the challenge of fostering inclusivity in a diverse, multi-faith society. While Bauchi contends with questions of faith and education, a dramatic and deeply personal controversy is gripping Nigeria's National Assembly. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, representing Kogi Central, has accused Senate President Godswill Akpabio of sexual harassment, igniting a national scandal that has escalated into lawsuits, family interventions, and polarized public opinion. What began as a dispute over Senate procedures has morphed into a saga that tests the boundaries of power, gender, and accountability in Nigerian politics. The feud traces back to procedural tensions. In July 2024, Akpabio sparked outrage by telling Natasha that the Senate was not a nightclub, a remark aimed at her outspokenness for which he later apologized. The conflict intensified in February 2025 over a seating reassignment prompted by opposition senators defecting to the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. When Natasha resisted the change, Akpabio ordered her removal from the chamber. The situation exploded on February 28, 2025, when Natasha appeared on Aris Television's morning show and accused Akpabio of sexually harassing her. Natasha alleged that Akpabio made repeated inappropriate advances, including an incident on December 8, 2023, at his home in Uyo, Akwa Ibom. She claimed that during a visit attended by her husband, Akpabio held her hand, gave her a tour of his house, and suggested they spend quality moments together, implying a quid pro quo for Senate privileges. When she rebuffed him, Natasha said, Akpabio retaliated by blocking her legislative motions and removing her from key roles, such as the local content committee chairmanship. The accusations have unleashed a torrent of legal and public fallout. On February 25, 2025, Natasha filed a 100 billion naira defamation lawsuit against Akpabio and his aide, Mfon Patrick, over a Facebook post mocking her as a superficial lawmaker. In retaliation, Akpabio's wife, Unoma Akpabio, countersued Natasha on March 1, 2025 for 250 billion naira plus additional claims totaling 350 billion naira, alleging defamation and emotional distress to her family, and demanding a retraction and apology. Natasha's husband, High Chief Emmanuel O. Uduaghan, the Alema of Wari Kingdom, entered the fray on March 1, 2025, confirming that Natasha had confided in him about the harassment. He revealed that he had met with Akpabio to resolve the issue privately, but the behavior persisted, prompting him to call for Senate respect toward his wife as legal battles proceed. Public reaction is sharply divided. Former Senate President Bukola Saraki has demanded an open investigation, while APC chieftain Ayirimi Amami dismissed the controversy as a distraction from President Tinubu's administration. Critics view Akpabio's alleged actions as emblematic of entrenched power abuses, while his supporters argue that Natasha's defiance of Senate rules provoked his response. Natasha has vowed to present concrete evidence in court, warning Unoma to stay out of the dispute and let Akpabio face the allegations directly. As of today, the feud shows no signs of abating. Two stories, though rooted in different arenas, the Bauchi school closure and the Natasha Akpabio saga illuminate shared tensions in Nigerian governance. In Bauchi, the clash pits religious observance against educational equity, testing the state's ability to serve a diverse population. In the National Assembly, the feud exposes the challenges women face in confronting power structures, where personal disputes can escalate into national crises. Both stories reflect deeper societal stakes. Bauchi's closure threatens to widen the region's educational gap, already strained by poverty and limited infrastructure, while the Natasha Akpabio controversy underscores the urgent need for mechanisms to address harassment and ensure accountability in politics. As Bauchi's government doubles down on its policy and the Abuja drama fuels headlines, these narratives highlight Nigeria's broader quest for balance between faith and fairness, tradition and progress, power and principle. In classrooms and parliamentary chambers alike, the resolutions, or lack thereof, will reverberate across the nation's future.